We would like to introduce our host for today's commencement, Dr. France Dufault.
Welcome, everybody, to the Paramount Theater for the 2022 graduation of our residents from Garnet Health Medical Center. Let's have a nice round of applause for everyone. I think you could be louder than that. Thank you. That's the right spirit, because we are here to celebrate our graduates, and we need to show them love. We need to show them that we are right next to them and that we support them. At this time, I would like to bring our distinguished and honorable guests. Mayor Joseph DiStefano, the mayor of the city of Middletown. Chief John Iwanshu, the City of Middletown Police Department, the chief of the City of Middletown Police Department. Maria Bruni, Director of Community Development, City of Middletown. Heather Boss, Director of Patient Services, Orange County Department of Health. Dr. Kenneth Steyer, the Executive Dean and Chief Academic Officer of Touro College of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Philip Massengale, Chair of Garnet Health Board of Directors. Susan Murray Tetz, Vice Chair, Garnet Health Board of Directors, and Chair of Garnet Health Medical Center Board of Directors. Dr. Richard Fuchs, Secretary Treasurer, Medical Staff, Garnet Health Medical Center. Rose Bashuski, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Garnet Health. Mr. Jerry Dunleavy, Chief Operating Officer, Garnet Health Medical Center, Catskill, and Vice President of Operation, Garnet Health. Dr. Leroy Cordero Floyd, President of the Medical Staff, Garnet Health Medical Center, and Chief Medical Officer, Garnet Health Medical Center, Catskill. Dr. Gerard Golano, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer, Garnet Health. Dr. Pamela Murphy, Chief Medical Officer, Garnet Health Medical Center. Mary Ellen Crittenden, Vice President Quality, Patient Safety Officer, Garnet Health. Raquel Ortiz, Vice President of Operation, Garnet Health Doctors. Mr. William Doster, President, Garnet Health Foundation. Ms. Amy Davidoff, Director of Enterprise Risk Management and Assistant General Counsel of Garnet Health. Dr. Kavnit Kaur, Medical Director of Neurology, Garnet Health Doctors, Program Director and Chair of Neurology, Garnet Health Medical Center. Again, a big round of applause for our distinguished and honored guests. Now, I would like to welcome the residency program directors. These are the individuals who are responsible for having trained our residents. First, Dr. Christian Castro-Nunes, the program director for Transitional Year. Dr. Shanti Arkeson, program director for Family Medicine Residency. Dr. Robert Linser, the Medical Director of Surgical Services and Program Director of General Surgery Residency. Dr. Ryan Ponsolan, Program Director, Internal Medicine Residency. Dr. Dulea Sentikol, Program Director, Emergency Medicine Residency. Dr. Ulrich View, Chairman and Medical Director of Behavioral Health and Program Director of Psychiatry Residency. And at this time, the individual who've been supporting our residents and the program directors, I'm going to bring them in. Elena Burton, the Internal Medicine Residency Program Coordinator. Kaylin Sorda, Psychiatry Residency Program Coordinator. Michelle Ciencio, General Surgery Residency Program Director. Emilia Martinez, Emergency Medicine Residency Program Coordinator. Donna McNeil, Transitional Year Residency Program Coordinator. Our newest member, Carmen Torres, Neurology Residency Program Coordinator. Stacy Ann Williams-Barclay, Family Medicine Residency Program Coordinator. The other people supporting our residency program, I'm bringing them in. That's the medical education staff. This includes Alyssa Auerbach, Undergraduate Medical Education and Continuing Medical Education Coordinator. Dr. Feketova was the Research Service Program Director. Veronica Jakimek was the Manager of Undergraduate Medical Education and Continuing Medical Education. And Zendra Dispense was the Administrative Director for Medical Education. So at this time, I would want the audience to stand so we can welcome the color guard, which is going to be preceded by a bagpiper, but before that, we're going to bring the residents in. And I would like the residents to enter at this point. And feel free to make a lot of noise as they're coming in. It's okay to say, that's my daughter, that's my son, that's my husband or my wife. These people are important to you, so let them know that. So please remain standing as we bring the color guard, preceded by Joe Stankiewicz, the bagpiper. The color guard is from the City of Middletown Police Department. At this time, Chief John Iwanshu, the Chief of Police for the City of Middletown, will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor Guard, please retire the colors.
Thank you. You can sit now. So at this time, I'd like to bring our mayor from City of Middletown, Mr. Joseph DiStefano, who will be saying a few words.
Thank you, Doctor. And Middletown is an old railroad industrial town that in the late 60s started losing industry. In the 70s, we lost our railroad through the setting of the city. And then we found out we were losing our hospital, which was located on Prospect Avenue in Middletown. Then when we heard that, we knew we were on tough times. And like any small city in the US of A, we knew we had tough times ahead, but we were resilient. We were a city that was making significant, but albeit incremental gains in revitalization. Gains that were recognized by Kiplinger magazine, a national publication that in 2012 identified us as the 8th best small city in the US to raise a family, based on the investments that we were making at the time. The key to our redevelopment, though, is that Orange Regional at the time, now Garnet, did not abandon us. We had this 300,000 square foot former hospital, and Orange Regional Medical Center at the time worked with us. So led by the now Garnet Medical Center, the greater Middletown area has become a major medical corridor, and the residency program and the partnership was instrumental in Toro Medical School opening here in our city. Another reason for that is Dr. Rana Izrowski and the countless hours that his commitment and dedication to making this former hospital into a medical school. So I need to once again publicly thank Dr. Izrowski for all his efforts. But if I could identify one of the most significant events that changed the trajectory of the city, it would be the partnership between Toro and Garnet. It spurred so much activity in our region, and the results are so positive. We appreciate the leadership and the employees of both organizations so much. But my job today is to welcome you to our downtown, welcome you to Middletown and downtown Middletown and this beautiful theater. This theater was saved by the city in 1994 when it was scheduled for probably demolition. And also to give you a couple minutes about the city of Middletown. I'm sure you've noticed the work that is ongoing. That is the result of a $10 million grant through New York State, the Green Infrastructure Grant, and facades, new restaurants, parking lots. But that $10 million turned into several millions over a period of years. $30 million in traffic and sidewalk improvements. You probably got stuck in a little bit of traffic in the downtown area on your way here. And that leveraged many more projects. We are underway now with an $8 million bus terminal depot project renovation. and private investment in our downtown alone has spurred the sale of 25 buildings over the last couple of years. We are constructing new parks. The Heritage Bike Trail and Walking Trail is now into the city. Our Reservoir Lakes project is underway and completed, and walking trails are being expanded, along with the construction of additional ball fields. Old vacant factories are now mixed-use commercial buildings with housing above it on the second and third floors, and many more in the planning. An example would be the building right behind us in the Paramount Theater, which is slated for 54 housing units and 30,000 square feet of commercial space. This change in direction from 10 years ago was the result of forward thinking on the administration and the city council and our residents. We had a new focus, a focus on recreation, education, and economic opportunity. Our city is a diverse community that includes working families, professionals, senior citizens, students, and so much more. We're a city with many needs, but at the same time, a community with so much to offer. A city with good people, strong institutions, and a strong sense of community. And that's Middletown in the 1 minute. So in closing, and on behalf of our residents, our administration, the elected officials, and the appointed officials here today, I would like to thank you for your service over the last few years in residency, and because what you do is so important, and let you know that it is so appreciated by people like myself and people in a small city such as Middletown, New York. So congratulations, resident graduation class of 2022, and I wish you the best in your future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor DiStefano. At this point, I would like to welcome Dr. Massengill, who is the chair of the Garnet Health Board of Directors.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, and welcome everyone. I just wanted to extend our warmest congratulations to the graduates here. I was sitting in your seat a little over 20 years ago. I won't say how far over 20 years, but it brings back memories of going through this process. We say we want to be doctors. It's a great idea, and you can't do it alone, though. You have to have a supportive family or support network. And so you should all be very proud and pat yourselves on the back for getting to this point. I laugh because I remember my mother and my family saying, "Oh, you're in medical school, you're now a doctor." I was like, well, no, not quite. I still have to get through medical school. And then it was like, oh, you're out of medical school, you're definitely a doctor. Not really quite. I still have to do some training, postgraduate training. So finally at this graduation, I went up to my mother and I said, I'm now really a doctor and can practice on my own. So it is funny, but families, you also need to pat yourselves on the back for being there for them because it is tough, and as you know, it's not a short road. And so on behalf of the entire board of directors, who is sure that adding the residency programs to our organization, we greatly benefit from daily. We wanted to wish you the warmest well wishes and all future successes as you go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Massengill. I think Dr. Massengill gave you a little roadmap. The goal is to become chair of a board of directors 20 years from now, for all of you. Before I call on Dr. Cordero Floyd, I wanted to, part of the program, we would have had Mr. Dunleavy here. And for many years, Mr. Dunleavy was the person who was responsible for GME as the executive sponsor of GME. And as such, this would be the time for me to acknowledge that. And this basically says, presented to Jerry Dunleavy, MBA, in recognition and appreciation for your outstanding support of GME, June 2022. So Jerry couldn't be here today, but we'll make sure that this gets to him. Thank you. So our next speaker is Dr. Leroy Cordero-Floyd, and he insists that it's Leroy Cordero-Floyd III, okay? President of Medical Staff, Garnet Health Medical Center. He's also the Chief Medical Officer at Garnet Health Medical Center, Catskill, and Medical Director of Hospital Services, Garnet Health. And Dr. Floyd is going to give you some word of wisdom. Welcome, Dr. Floyd.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Dufault, for that warm welcome. On behalf of the over 1,000 physicians, residents, advanced practice practitioners that serve Garnet Health System, we salute the graduates today, completing their residency programs. Some of you have been with us for 5 years, while others only 1. During your time with us, you've been faced with many challenges and obstacles. You've not let the COVID-19 pandemic prevent you from accomplishing your goals. In fact, you stood side by side with your attendings and provided exceptional, unwavering, high-quality care to our communities in Orange and Sullivan counties. I hope you look upon your time with us fondly and take the experiences and knowledge you've acquired to your next destination, whether it be here at Garnet, fellowship, or private practice, and continue to deliver that high-quality care. I want you all to remember just a few things. Never stop learning, never stop asking questions, never stop being one of your patient's strongest advocates. When making that first tough decision as an attending, use observation, reason, logic, human understanding, empathy, and courage. And lastly, remember that medicine is not just a science, it's also an art. Thank you and congratulations, graduates. Job well done.
Thank you, Dr. Floyd. You heard from Mayor DeStefano that the medical school and Garnet have a great alliance. This alliance is represented by Dr. Kenneth Steyer, who is a true friend of Garnet Health and a true supporter of graduate medical education. Dr. Steyer is the Executive Dean and Chief Academic Officer for Touro College of Osteopathic Medicine, and is going to come and give us a few words of wisdom as well.
Thank you, Dr. Defoe. Really happy to be here. I, too, completed a residency and fellowship, 3 years internal medicine, 2 years pulmonary and critical care. So I have, although it was a long time ago, I still have some idea of what it's like, nights, weekends, et cetera. We didn't have COVID back then. We did have HIV in its early stages, so we had our own share of excitement. But it's really exciting to be here. Touro's journey up to Middletown began back in 2012, probably a little bit before that, actually. But in 2012, when our president, Alan Kadish, mentioned to me that they were considering developing a new medical school up here in Middletown, New York, and he asked me kindly and gently if I'd like to be the founding dean of the Middletown campus. And my impression at the time reading the room was it was really not a question, but kind of marching orders. So I said, sure, we'd be happy to do it. Let's go take a look. So I lived on Long Island, and I was working for Touro in Manhattan. But we started trekking up here through snow sometimes and traffic, et cetera, but to investigate and see what the opportunity was up here. And what did we find? We found Mayor Joseph DeStefano. We found Ron Israelski. We found the administration of what was Orange Regional Medical Center and is now Garnet Medical Center, and a great community that was very excited about having a medical school up here. So it seemed like all the right things were in place. We had this little technicality of getting accreditation. So we had to go to our Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation and pitch our idea for the campus up here. The Garnet people actually came with us to Chicago back in 2013 to get the school approved, which was somewhat novel for the hospital administration to come with the medical school people to the accreditation meetings, which are no fun, I assure you. And we had to do a few things. We had to change our mission statement, because our mission statement at TurocCom was to create physicians to practice in Harlem, which Middletown seemed like a little bit of a reach for to the accreditors. So we had to expand our mission statement and prove that we had enough opportunities up here to train our students and graduates. But to make a long story short, we ultimately got approved and we opened in 2014. And we had our grand opening right here at this theater and right on this stage, July 28th of 2014. And it's really been a tremendous partnership. We were able to get some students up here right away as soon as we got accredited from our Harlem campus. We started with 12, then the next year we had 24. And then we had the Middletown students take over and increased our numbers from there. We were also interested, as in required, to create GME opportunities. So we worked with the hospital to join NICOMEC, which was the OPTI, which was also affiliated with NYITCOM on Long Island. And we were able to get the residency started and approved with Ron Ozraelsky and the hospital administration. Ultimately, these programs, as you know, became ACGME approved under Dr. Foe and under the hospital, and became the great residency programs that you have today. So at the school, we couldn't have a better partner than the hospital. The hospital team has been great. To have a hospital a mile away that's so supportive, where our students can train, where many of them can go into residency, and on completion of residency, where many can go into practice, that really closes the loop. That's really the dream, right? So we want local kids from the community. I say kids, no disrespect, but anybody under 40 at this point looks like a kid to me. And actually, one of my sons goes to school at Turo now, and will likely be applying to Garnet for residency at some point, so be careful. But you know, we've been so impressed with the development of the academic programs. It's not easy, right, to start student rotations, to start residencies, to become an academic medical center. It's impossible to overstate the difficulty that entails. You know, we see hospitals that have had programs for 100 years that are still working on improvement and getting better. And for Garnet Medical Center to be able to do this and develop these programs and to produce such excellent graduates who can take care of anybody and pretty much any crisis and any problem is just such a dream come true and such a fulfillment. So on behalf of Turo University, previously known as Turo College and University System, our heartfelt congratulations to all the graduates. We look forward to seeing you in the future and all your careers. Hopefully, if you're Turo graduates, you'll become alumni. But if not, we look forward to working with you and seeing you everywhere along the way. So congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Starr. Our keynote speaker could not be here with us today because right now, at this time, he has landed in Poland, and he has chartered a car to go into Ukraine. And he's going to Ukraine so that he can go there and provide help, medical help that's badly needed over there. Dr. Ozraelsky, you've heard his name mentioned over and over again. Ronald Ozraelsky played a very important role in the bringing a medical school to Middletown. He also played a very important role in raising funds so that the new hospital could be built where you guys train in Middletown. And while doing all those things, he's an orthopedic surgeon, hand surgeon to be more specific, using microtechniques, and a humanitarian par excellence. Part of his major help that he gave was started in 2010 after that major earthquake in Haiti, the island of Haiti. And Dr. Israelski flew there with supplies. He helped train physicians to provide the right kind of orthopedic care. And he has not stopped. He has created an organization that actually is there to help maintain equipment that's donated. Sometimes people just give you equipment, and after a while, the parts no longer work, and they say, well, we gave you something. But he's training and has trained individuals to go what we call here in this country biomedical engineering, which is a very important department to have in any hospital. So he has that in Haiti, and he's providing that for them. And he's basically going to be doing the same thing in the Ukraine. So he has a video. He taped. He had wanted to call and do it live, but knowing that you can't rely on the most sophisticated system these days, because who knows, maybe the Russians, I've heard of that, and they'll cut him off, okay? I shouldn't say the Russians, I should have said President Putin, okay? Russians are very good people. Now you may have different view about President Putin. We're going to show the tape, and the audience feel free to turn your chair around so you can see and hear Dr. Israelski.
Good afternoon and congratulations to the 2022 graduating residents from the Garnet Health Medical Center. If you are seeing this recording, then for technical issues here in Ukraine, I am sorry that I was unable to speak with you live as I had hoped. I was so honored when Dr. Dufault invited me to briefly speak to the graduating residents who today begin yet a new journey that will embody dreams, goals, and always an omnipresent love for serving those in need. For it is this love of service that I believe in great measure brings us happiness, happiness that frankly comes from deep within us, the core emotion we share and crave. All of you who are completing your residency programs today can look in your rearview mirrors and see much intense, extraordinary, and often horrific history our culture and the world has had to bear over the past few years. You have all stood up bravely, faced head-on a pandemic of historical proportions, witnessed perhaps the greatest polarization of America since its inception. You've gone about your work, holding your heads up high, while time-warped climactic change has brought untoward natural disasters with much of our nation burning, literally, where senseless violence plagues our neighborhoods, our schools, and our houses of worship. Yet somehow you have negotiated the carnage of the past several years and have kept focus on our mission in life, and that is to serve. It has, is, and will always be a part of our identity as physicians. So we are in great awe of your resiliency and grit during these difficult times. There's a quote that I often use in my talks because it never gets old to me. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. In our training as physicians, we have all accumulated critical knowledge, and with that knowledge comes awesome power. Please know and embody that the power of that knowledge can affect great positive change, not only for our local communities, but for all the world's citizens. Power to profoundly affect the lives of our patients in our local offices. Power to manage and create new systems of healthcare delivery. Power to offset disparities in healthcare and in the overall human condition. Our knowledge gives us power to affect change, which is only limited by our imagination. Over your future careers, you will continue to collect and accumulate knowledge that will advance the ascent and success of your careers. And as you progress in your careers, consider being active in different committees at your local hospitals and even pursuing leadership positions. I've learned that good leaders impassion their colleagues towards cause. And when your cause becomes the cause of those you lead, there is no stopping progress for the greater good. When I first came up here about 30 years ago, there was definitely gaps I identified and orthopedic services in the region. And having recognized those gaps and made that clear to others, we all began to share in that same excitement in building the region's first bone and joint center, which reversed outward migration of complex orthopedic surgical cases by 80%. These cases were going formally to New York City. As a DIO in the past, I was always privileged in pursuing projects where I could get people excited towards cause, including the construction of the Toro Medical College here in Middletown, as well as initiating 6 residency training programs and turning the former Orange Regional Medical Center into an autonomous ACGME accredited teaching hospital. In projects that I initiated, their success was always by way of massive, unified group efforts. That the passion of those working with me equaled my passion always seemed to be a recipe for success. For me to become involved in humanitarian work, it took a huge natural disaster. The earthquake of 2010 in Haiti, which killed 250,000 people in 30 seconds, in my opinion, represented perhaps one of the worst events to affect the human condition in our hemisphere in our lifetime. The abject, unimaginable suffering caused by this event was my call to action and allowed me to harness my knowledge and skill sets gained through my career to perform a needs assessment and develop solutions to provide infrastructural, clinical, and educational support for the ravaged Haitian state hospital system and her teaching programs. Following this needs assessment, I founded ORSI, which stands for Orthopedic Relief Services International, a 501c3 not-for-profit. And over the past 12 years, we have deployed over 30 orthopedic surgical didactic trauma teams. We've donated millions of dollars in equipment and provided multiple on-site and remote learning platforms, including year-round comprehensive grand rounds given by world-class speakers, translated into French, as well as having donated many laptops, hundreds and hundreds of textbooks, and thumb drives loaded with orthopedic teaching materials, a virtual library in the residents' pockets. What I learned is the algorithm of providing proper infrastructure, equipment, and environment to do your work will then lead to better clinical outcomes. And when you get better clinical outcomes, only then can education occur at the highest level. And this algorithm of infrastructural support leading to better clinical outcomes, leading to better education, is a model that could be used in an algorithmic fashion in many relief challenged environments. It took another event, the Ukraine war, which allowed me again to utilize knowledge and skill sets gained through my career and accumulated through my work in Haiti to develop logistics in order to ship massive amounts of trauma equipment into Ukraine and then to those hospitals treating massive amounts of wounded soldiers and civilians. The purpose of this current mission is for me to meet and develop deep relationships with my collaborative partners on the ground at every segment of life and of the shipment of life and limb-saving trauma equipment. That starts in the United States, then into Poland, then into Western Ukraine, and then eventually the distribution of this trauma equipment based on triage to frontline hospitals to the east near the war zone, including Kiev and Dnipro. Only through developing such grassroots relationships can adequate functionality and streamlined logistics for shipping trauma equipment occur. So it was not just medical knowledge or how to do a physical examination that brought me here, but it was other core competencies such as interpersonal communication, systems of healthcare delivery and understanding those systems, cultural competency and professionalism that gave me the foundation to do this kind of work. You know, the AOA and the ACGME core competencies really represent different baskets of required knowledge in the making of a physician. And again, it's not just medical knowledge that you can use to affect great change, but understanding the systems, how to professionally communicate with people and cultivate a more empathic nature is critical knowledge that can allow limitless ability to affect positive change. Embedded in the all-important core competency of professionalism are attributes such as empathy, volunteerism, and cultural competency. The knowledge we physicians hopefully internalize here can serve one well when working in resource-limited settings and helping those that suffer most on our planet. So may the knowledge that you've gained over your residency bring you the power to accomplish anything you wish. You are all equipped to do great things and are only limited by your passion and your dreams. So to the graduates, their families, friends, congratulations on this great day. And to the residents, as you embark on what I truly believe is the most honorable profession. Your futures are bright. Please stay strong, resolute, and optimistic, for you will accomplish great things and make the world a better place. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this great honor, and good night.
So before we call the program directors so they can introduce their residents, I want to simply say, as you go out there, remember to be respectful, demonstrate to your patient that you are listening to them at all times, and always explain things to them in ways that, using words that they can understand. That's the basic secret to having a very successful practice and interaction with your patient. Our first program director to come up is Dr. Christian Castro-Nunes.
Thank you, Dr. DeFord. Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. Executive Vice President, Dr. Gallardo, President and CEO, Mr. Pylon, Chief Medical Officers, Dr. Murphy and Dr. Floyd, Institutional DIO, Dr. DeFord, Dean, Dr. Starr, Executive GME Director, Mr. Dunleavy, distinguished and honorable guests, GME coordinators, administrators, staff, faculty, family, and friends. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you the Transitional Year Class of 2022. And to you, the Transitional Year residents, it is an honor to guide you during your training while fostering your foundation in medicine. I also want to acknowledge the faculty for your motivation, time, and dedication to provide them with an excellent education. As I started thinking about this class, what defined them as a group of residents, I came across a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that said, "Intelligence and character, that is the goal of true education. Intelligence plus character." Since the beginning of the year, I realized that character was the most common quality in each one of these residents. A little rough at the beginning, but it has refined to a greater sculpture. They have built their strong character by the way they have responded to different situations, such as Dr. Isran Resefnil, leading our backup schedule, including during the COVID-19 pandemic surge. Dr. Ryan Kim, leading the program at OMM Schedule Clinic, and Dr. Mihai Andreka, leading the morning report. Their determination and dedication led Dr. Leandra Trido to win the National Emergency Medicine Research Competition in Maryland, and Dr. Aldo Salgado Hernandez to win our Institutional Research Poster Competition. This residents' sincere commitment to create their strong character is displayed in their excellent academic achievements. At the end of multiple rotations, I was constantly asked to allow Dr. Brandon Funk, Dr. Nicholas Arcanti, and Dr. Michael Gronstein to stay in their current rotation for another month. Everyone was impressed with their strong teamwork approach and wanted to continue working with them. Sadly, I had to say sorry, but they need to move on. Except once, I couldn't say no to Dr. Puntara. And lastly but not least, the resilience, professionalism, and dedication to patient care were the qualities frequently highlighted in the evaluation and feedback for Dr. Jordan Brown, Dr. John Paul Michaud, and Dr. Santroy Samuels. This group of residents has been remarkable. They are engaged, inquisitive, creative, and very proactive in their education. You're well prepared and ready for the next step in your life and journey. I just want to ask of you to continue seeking knowledge, counsel, and guidance as you assume responsibilities for the well-being of the community and your patients. Conduct yourself with integrity, respect diversity, and promote inclusion. Stand with dignity and purpose. Treat every patient like it is an honor to treat each one of them. And most of all, be driven by kindness, compassion, and empathy. And now, with the recommendation from the Transitional Year Clinical Competency Committee, I would like to present to you your diploma completing the Transitional Year Residency Program. Dr. Mihai Andreka. Dr. Nicholas Arcanti. Dr. Jordan Brown. Dr. Brandon Funk. Dr. Michael Gronstein. Dr. Ryan Kim. Dr. John Paul Michaud. Dr. Aldo Salgado Hernandez. Dr. Santroy Samuels. Dr. Isrin Risefnil. and Dr. Leandra Tridor. I'm enormously grateful to be part of your education. Congratulations. My best wishes and prayer to you with always. And now to move on, we would like to present 2 awards for the Transitional Year Residency Program, above and beyond to one of the resident and a faculty member. The Above and Beyond Awards for the transitional year goes to a resident selected by the peers and faculty. The resident has demonstrated an attitude of excellence, teamwork, and go above and beyond the expectations. I hope the resident continue to foster these qualities to improve the health and wellness issue impacting us. The Above and Beyond Transitional Year Residency Resident Awards goes to Dr. Brandon Funk. And now, Above and Beyond for the faculty member. The Transitional Year Teaching Faculty Awards for going for Above and Beyond goes to an attending physician who has been a role model to the residents. Your dedication, passion, and ability to connect with the residents are truly superior. The Above and Beyond Transitional Year Residency Faculty Awards goes to Dr. Puntora. That's Dana, our coordinator. Go, Dana. And now it is a pleasure to introduce the Director of the Internal Medicine Program, Dr. Ryan Poncelan.
Thank you, everybody. So today, we're here to congratulate the IM class of 2022. First off, I would like to take this opportunity to share some gratitude for those who helped make today happen, because it takes a village. Thank you to all the program directors and coordinators, Mr. Jerry Dunleavy, Dr. Defoe, Ms. Spence, Ms. Jachimet, Dr. Floyd, and all of our distinguished guests for all your work and support of GME and the IM residency program. To Drs. Obligado and Katia, Puris, Park, El-Zarif, and Shah, the residents and I are fortunate to work with such great physicians and educators day in and day out. To our amazing APD, Dr. Afer Akiz, your tireless work ethic and passion for teaching elevates the program and everyone around you. And our indispensable program coordinator, Ms. Elena Burton, you make things happen and keep the program running, and we'd be lost without you. And to all the family, friends, and loved ones in attendance and watching online, each graduate does not make it here without your love and support. So a big thank you and congratulations to all of you who share in their success. Now for this year's graduates. Today is a culmination of years of your hard work, studying, and sacrifice. You may not yet realize how much you've grown since your days as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed intern. And while now you may be able to manage a decompensating on the floor, patient on the floors, or quote the newest guideline, or place a central line with ease, I think your most impressive achievement is your resiliency and adaptability over the past 3 years. To train during the initial surge and subsequent waves of the COVID pandemic, in the midst of worldwide social, political, and environmental turmoil, is quite the feat. And if nothing else, it should buy you a little street cred and a story to tell when you join the dark side and become an attending. But as you move on to the next stage of your careers, my hope is that your experiences here have imparted you with enough wisdom to prepare you for what lies ahead. A writer, David Brooks, said that wisdom isn't information. It's a moral quality of knowing what you don't know and figuring out a way to handle your ignorance, uncertainty, and limitation. Wisdom is not knowledge. It is knowing how to behave when perfect knowledge is lacking. This quality, this wisdom, is what is going to differentiate you from other physicians and make you a better doctor than the rest. You'll know a lot of things, but you won't know everything. You'll be able to answer a lot of questions, but you won't always have all the answers. And you can make plans, but unfortunately things will never go quite the way that you intend them to. My hope is that your training will carry you through the tough times ahead as you begin the next phase of your medical careers. So to the Garnet Health IM Residency Class of 2022, Danny, Maria, Maida, Nafisa, Amina, Naman, Amanda, Fedwa, Anna, Naeem. One last teaching point for the road. If you ever get stuck and all else fails, I want you to remember to go back to the basics, the fundamentals. Never be too proud to ask for help. Treat others how you'd want to be treated. Imagine yourself in the other person's shoes. And above all else, be kind. Because let me tell you this, kindness, it's the game changer. I think it's the one thing that can ultimately save the world. So thank you guys, I appreciate you. Enjoy this moment because you've earned it. So congratulations and wishing each of you nothing but the best. And with that said, I think this is the part where we graduate you guys, yeah? So first off, I guess, I'll call up Dr. Danny Matthew. Next, Dr. Maria Chowdhury. Next, Dr. Maida Khan. Next, Dr. Naeem Ahmed. Dr. Anna Masterbasevich. Dr. Fedwa Irby. Dr. Amanda Muqdad. Dr. Mohammed Nauman. Dr. Amina Rahman. And lastly, Dr. Nafisa Wadood. So once again, congratulations to the IM residency class of 2022, yeah? And now for the Above and Beyond Award for the Internal Medicine Residency Program. First off, we'll start with the residents, yeah? Residents, yeah, all right. So for the Garnet Health IM Residency Above and Beyond Award, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Danny Matthew. And for the Above and Beyond IM Residency Award for the faculty, we actually have two winners, Dr. Afer Akiz and Dr. Kaushal Shah. That's Elena Burton. That's our program coordinator. She doesn't like attention, so everybody just wants to stare at her. That's fine. All right, so I'm wrapping it up here, and I'd like to bring on our next program director, the program director of emergency medicine, Dr. Delia Santacool.
Thank you, Dr. Punsalan. Good afternoon, everybody. I am the Program Director of Emergency Medicine, and this is my absolute favorite time of the year for our residents. It's filled with excitement of new challenges to come, new things to buy with your attending salary, finally being able to live in the same state as your loved ones. It is also filled with uncertainty and angst. What's next to come? How will I handle a single coverage ER? Over the last 3 years, I have watched you grow into the badasses that you are today. That is not a curse. It is an ER term. You all started off quiet and second-guessing your orders. Today you stand before us, a class that I am absolutely proud to graduate. A class of physicians who are empathetic, kind, and who do the right thing. A class of physicians who are respected by their colleagues, by their faculty, by the nurses, techs, and clerks in the ER. This class of physicians take pride in patient care in academia. This class brings people together. When I had my first meeting with our newly appointed chiefs, Kelly Eng and Sarah Hardin, I asked them, as I do every new chief, what legacy do you want to leave here? They responded that they wanted to bring all the classes of residents together, close the gaps between PGY 1, 2, and 3. This is exactly what they achieved, and they've expanded through other departments as well. Sarah and Kelly are natural leaders. Actually, this whole class are natural leaders. Sarah is quick-witted, powerful, but yet hands it to you with a gentle hand. Sarah, fierce, a protector. Oh, Kelly, I'm sorry. Fierce, a protector. Always wants, I know, I'm sorry. Always wants to do the right thing. Ash, a natural teacher. Her drive to learn and teach is contagious and infinite. Abe has achieved so much in his life with challenges. He's an inspiration for those who want to follow their dreams despite it all. Herb, oh herbivore. There's always one in the class. Herb is a one-man party. He practices good medicine and yet has fun while he's doing it. Aaron, despite profanities and threats thrown at him, he'll always find the silver lining. That person's just having a bad day. He doesn't really want to kill me. So none of this would be possible without a village, including our administration, our nurses, clerks, and techs in the ED, our attendings who impart their wisdom daily. A lot of the credit goes to our core faculty, Dr. May and Dr. Spano, who are in the audience, Dr. Liu and Dr. George. All of them are just as invested in our residents as I am. I couldn't have asked for a better team. Dr. Murphy, I'll keep it clean, mentor, always watching over us. Amelia, our coordinator, couldn't do it without her. The second mom of this program, Dr. Rowantree, our associate program director, could not join us today, but I'm sure she is watching. Rosie inspires others to get things done. Remember her pearls. That rectal exam in bed 17 isn't going to do itself. And also remember her threats of, I'll skip that one. Most importantly is the support of family, friends. Love and patience of your support unit was essential to this extremely long journey to becoming an emergency medicine physician. Our residents may not share the details of their day just to spare you. They see, hear, and feel unshakable, senseless tragedies and diagnoses daily. They pick themselves up and keep on going because there's a job to be done. Please continue to support them as they continue to do good work and help others. Be proud of what you have done here at Garnet Health Medical Center. Be proud of what you have done for your patients. Be proud of the knowledge that you have imparted to your juniors and your students. Be proud of your accomplishment. Enjoy the sweet fruits of your labor. Take back some of that time you sacrificed becoming a doctor. Keep in touch, send pictures, texts, and emails. It is my honor to graduate this amazing group of emergency medicine physicians, the class of 2023. So, I would like to present their diplomas, please. Dr. Sarah Hardin. Dr. Kelly Eng. Dr. Herbert Icastiano. Dr. Ash Mangasarian. Dr. Aaron Ramcharatar. And last but not least, Dr. Abraham Taub. One last round of applause for this class, please. I'm sure they put a bet whether or not I was going to cry, and I didn't. Next is a presentation. I heard that. Next is a presentation of the Above and Beyond Awards. The Above and Beyond Resident Award goes to Dr. Sarah Harden. The Above and Beyond Faculty Award goes to Dr. Stephen Piriano. Dr. Piriano may be working, oh, he probably is, yes. He is probably working today, so we will accept the award on his behalf. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce the wonderful program director for our general surgery residency, Dr. Robert Linser.
Family and friends, invited guests, and of course our graduates, welcome to the third graduation for our general surgery residency program. General surgery is a 5-year residency because the residents not only have to learn knowledge, but they have to learn a unique set of skills. I have to give this group of residents credit as they have shown grit and perseverance throughout their process. They joined the residency program as it was being formed, and they had no guarantee that they would actually be able to finish. They helped to develop the program, and at some points I know that they weren't sure that the program was going to get accredited. But through hard work and through the support of a strong faculty, the GME department, and a strong hospital, the program has been accredited, and I'm pleased to be able to graduate them today. All of these residents have been here for 5 years, and actually several of them did a TY program before they joined the surgery residency program, so they've actually been here for 6 years. They are probably some of the longest running employees of Garnet Health System. And I think some of us thought they would actually never leave, but we are proud to send them out as trained and qualified surgeons. Surgery is a unique specialty. It really defines what a residency is. The residents spend days and nights in the hospital. They still do 24-hour shifts, although they know I will say it's not as hard as when I was a resident because we did every other night 24-hour shifts. But certainly it's better now that they do get some sleep. However, I think the best way to describe to you what a surgical residency is about is to talk a little bit about our residents and what they have demonstrated over the years. Just to make the residents a little nervous, I asked their colleagues and their junior residents to describe them, and so that's what you will hear. Our first graduating resident is Dr. Corman. He is nicknamed the Road Runner, as he is always the quickest to get out of bed at night to see a consult. He is also the quickest to get back to bed at night to get back to sleep. He is always advocating for the residents in the GME program as the GMA representative. I'm not sure the GMA program was happy about that because he was always a strong advocate for the residents, but he got the job done.
The GME program is very happy about that.
Thank you. He does have an unusual sense of timing, and the other resident says that he always manages to schedule things for right after he's supposed to go off shift. Our next chief resident is Dr. Frula. He's known to the residents as Papa Bear. He's always willing to help out the junior residents with tasks, answers the junior residents and students' questions, and I am told that he is most fun to be on call with because he's always down for sushi. You will see a theme here because when you spend 24 hours in the hospital, food is very important. I am told, although I know nothing about this, that he does have a habit of breaking things. Phones, cell phones, computers, surgical instruments, surgical staplers. Okay. Dr. Nauer is our next graduating chief resident. He has been nicknamed the Fonz because he is the most laid back of all the chiefs. He always has little pearls of wisdom, probably could do to stand a little stand-up. He could probably do a little stand-up comedy if this surgical thing doesn't work out, because he has a great sense of humor. And he knows the best way to please all the attendings. I am told that he's not the best to be on call with because he always wants to have Chipotle. Again, that food theme comes up. Our next chief is Dr. Mia. I have actually known Dr. Mia for the longest time. I worked with him before I came here at Berkshire Medical Center. Pabel, I promise you I had nothing to do with the residency match, and that isn't the reason that you didn't match there, but it all worked out because we both ended up here. He is known as the professor, and for the parents and the invited guests in the room, specifically the professor from Gillian's Island. He's always willing to teach on rounds and in the operating room, always gave special study mnemonics, and always had evidence for what he did in his surgical decisions. Now, I know we all had imaginary friends when we were growing up, but the residents had a theory that he had an imaginary friend as well, because Dr. Mia had a wife that we had never met. I'm actually pleased to say that both Dr. Mia's wife and his mother are here today to watch him graduate. For those of you that know, though, we have a tradition of having weddings at our graduations. And there's actually a tradition in surgery that you have to ask your program director if you're going to get married or if you're going to have children. So, Pavel, if you want to have a wedding at our graduation party next week, we can certainly arrange that. And our final chief resident is Dr. Stewart. He is known as Don Draper from Mad Men for always having the best surgical scrub caps and sneakers, and I think that will be evidenced today as well. He is technically good and very knowledgeable. He apparently is very good at trivia, knows how to appreciate a good cup of coffee, and is always willing to hang with the residents outside of work. The residents do say that he does make them a little anxious when he talks to the attendings and the nurses. They never know exactly what he's going to say or what the reaction is going to be, but he's always advocating for the patient. So the graduating surgical chiefs, we wish you all the best in your next step on your journey. We know we have trained you well, both as physicians and surgeons, given you knowledge and skills, and we are pleased to welcome you to the Fellowship of Surgeons. We know your life has changed by your being here and by gaining your education. I know our life will change as you move on to your next step in your career. So it's now my pleasure to give the surgical graduates of 2022, on the recommendation of the Surgical Clinical Competency, their diplomas. Our first graduate is Dr. Corman, who couldn't be here today. His sister was actually getting married, and he reminded me that was planned way before the graduation date, so he will not be here today. Our next graduate is Dr. Gregory Stewart. Our next graduate is Dr. Pavel Mia. Our next graduate is Dr. Andrew Nauer. And our final graduate is Dr. Gabe Prula. It's now my pleasure to present the Above and Beyond Awards for the Surgical Residency Program. Our faculty award goes to a faculty member who serves as a mentor and teaches the residents as a role model for surgical skills and for patient care. And that award goes to Dr. Guillermo Oy. And our Above and Award Beyond for Surgical Resident goes to a resident who is a role model to the residents in terms of training other residents, in terms of supporting his colleagues, and is a role model in terms of patient care. For the chief residents of this year, he has been named the new general because he's taking over as a chief resident, and that award goes to Dr. Eric Mulkey. And I think Dr. Mulkey is in the operating room with Dr. Oy. So we will accept those awards for him as well. And this young lady is Michelle Cianco, who's our program coordinator, has been a great support for these residents. And I also want to acknowledge Adrienne Pratt, who I know is here today, who started out as our coordinator and was the first mother for our residents, and we appreciate her support as well. It's now my pleasure to introduce the program director for the Family Medicine Residency, Dr. Shanti Harkinson.
You'll need a stretch. I would like to echo the wonderful words of my colleagues to thank our distinguished guests and all of the friends and family out here and everyone else at Garnet Health, because it truly takes a village to do what we're doing here. So when I think of the graduating class of 2022 in family medicine, the only thing that keeps coming to mind is gems. These are the true gems of Garnet Health. Just like it takes millions of years and a combination of heat and pressure to create precious stones, that's kind of what residency is like, hopefully not quite as cumbersome. So the two residents that we have, they are so extraordinary that it never occurred to anyone that our typical class in family medicine at Garnet is usually comprised of 4 residents. They came to me as soon as I arrived over a year ago, and we're ready to get to work. They've been our co-chief residents. They meet with me every week. Even though they're now the immediate past chiefs, they continue to meet with us and continue to contribute to our program. Together, we have left no stone unturned for this program. They lead their colleagues with tremendous grace. They organize everything from, everything about the program. They run our osteopathic clinic on Tuesday evenings and teach the students as well as their colleagues. They've developed our interview program and have run it and have had a very successful recruitment year. They have developed curriculum, and they have never once complained, not once. They continue to go above and beyond, including volunteering for our urgent care center and seeing hundreds of patients during our latest surge. And they have done so seamlessly. And they will be sorely missed. It's no surprise that they're going on to really wonderful jobs. Dr. Simpson is going on to work for Middletown Medical, just right here locally, and hopefully she'll continue on doing some precepting for us. And Dr. Amit Mukherjee is going on to the Pennsylvania VA Medical Center to be closer to his family, and we're going to miss them terribly. So let me present to you the graduates in family medicine, Dr. Amit Mukherjee. And Dr. Caitlin Simpson. I'm giving them some extra exercise because we're going to ask Dr. Castro-Nunez to come up and present some additional recognition.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Harkinson. It is my high honor to present the resident who has successfully completed the requirement of the American Osteopathic Association and the Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education Osteopathy Recognition Training Program. I deeply admire the way this resident had embraced the osteopathic approach to patients. an approach that considers the whole aspect of the person. Because whether it is pain, marriage, or financial difficulty, you have to understand what the patient is living with before you can address their health effectively. These resident leadership skills, determination, dedication to patient care, had led them to pursue additional training on learning advanced hands-on techniques in the osteopathic philosophy and principles. They have learned not just the skill and knowledge to be competent osteopathic physicians, but they have cultivated the compassion and empathy to make them trusted healers. And now, with the recommendation from the Clinical Competency Committee, Family Medicine, Osteopathy Recognition, I present the distinction of advanced osteopathy training to Dr. Amit Mukherjee, and Dr. Kaylin Simpson. Now we'll get back to Dr. Harkinson.
So now for the Above and Beyond Award. So for the Above and Beyond Award, it goes to a resident who, when they're not doing residency, they're getting up early and helping out in the farm. And when they're not doing that, they're doing all kinds of extra projects for graduate medical education. And someone asked them recently, how do you get all this stuff done, like creating a whole integrative medicine curriculum for your colleagues? And they said, well, all of that in between time. So this is truly an extraordinary resident, and the Above and Beyond Award goes to Dr. Caitlin Simpson. So my residents had a little trick up their sleeve, and the Above and Beyond Award this year for faculty, I'm going to accept, but I'm going to accept it on behalf of my extraordinary program. So I want you to know that I've been here a little over a year, and I couldn't imagine a more extraordinary group of individuals. They just give and do so with charm and optimism and kindness. And we have done so many wonderful things this year, and it's been nothing but fun. And so on behalf of the program, we'd love to accept the Above and Beyond Award for a truly extraordinary program, including, actually, our coordinator, Ms. Stacey Ann Williams-Barkley, and I also want to thank Ms. Amelia Martinez for helping get us all started. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Ulrich View, the Program Director for Psychiatry.
Good afternoon. This is last, but this is definitely not least. It is, first of all, from the Department of Psychiatry, we want to thank all of our support system, from Dr. Galerna to Dr. Murphy, from our CEO, Al Peinlong, to our fantastic DIO, Dr. Franz Dufour. Your support has really helped us tremendously. Our actual executive sponsor, Rose Brzezinski. Also want to thank my partner in crime from the Psychiatry Department, Dr. Lonnie Finney, who cannot join us, but she has been such a phenomenal aspect of developing our entire service line. But with that said, today is a day of profound joy. It's definitely an achievement to get to the point where you're actually graduating from residency, because now you are full-fledged physicians. So again, To our graduating residents, Dr. Robert Blessing, Dr. Namdi Orakpo, congratulations. It's been an absolute joy to work with all of you. But you could not have gotten to this point without the sacrifice of our standing staff, our faculty, Dr. Allison Sullivan, Dr. Martin Crone, Dr. Shivashankar, Dr. Bizendev Mahado, Dr. Faraz, Dr. Aful, Dr. Olukatobi. I know I'm going to say, miss some names, but I can go on and on. Dr. Wynn, Dr. So, Dr. Yuan, Dr. Wang, just really Dr. Bliss. It goes on and on. Our psychology department, including Dr. Arrington, Dr. DeSantis, all of our social workers, our nurses that we've had the joy to work with. So it's been a phenomenal, phenomenal team. And this is also a celebration of your effort and your dedication to our program. This year we're graduating two male physicians. And I remember there was a time in my life where I had to basically commit a poem that's very dear to my heart that's called The Test of a Man. And the test of a man is basically the grit that a brother shows, takes the life's numerous bumps and blows. And you really, really did a lot. I mean, it's unbelievable what you've gone through for the past 4 years. Remember, psychiatry is a 4-year residency program. And we've gone through the COVID pandemic. Unfortunately, the frequent shootings that's become unfortunately part of our culture, you've been having to deal with that. And oftentimes, psychiatry may not always get the acknowledgement that it deserves, but you, the two of you, have really done a phenomenal job in showing the grit, the resiliency that's needed to provide empathic care to the community that we serve. You've been able to handle the countertransference very well. You've done a phenomenal job in understanding the truly biopsychosocial, spiritual perspective that is vital to being an astounding artist of the art of medicine. So I salute you tremendously for all that you've done. And with that said, I could not forget my good cop, our program coordinator, Kaylin Serta, who often, we've kind of played the good cop, bad cop, so at times she can be the good cop, other times I can be the bad cop, and vice versa. But again, it just goes back to how it's truly been a village that's actually brought you to this point. So feel very secure with education that you've received, and make sure that you enjoy every single moment of the rest of your life. Because the field of medicine is truly a gift, it's an honor, but it's also an act of love and sacrifice. So continue to move forward and onward. So with that, without further ado, I would like the two graduating residents, Dr. Robert Blessing and also Dr. Namdi Orakpo, to stand up and come. Dr. Namdi Orakpo. And we also want to acknowledge, to go over the Above and Beyond Award for both our resident and also our faculty. We want to first start off with the resident. The winner of the Above and Beyond Award, as voted by her peers and colleagues, second year in a row, Dr. Farah Aziz. And also, I'd like to introduce the Above and Beyond Award winner for the Above and Beyond Award winner for the attending psychiatrist. So it looks like Dr. Aziz and this attending have a really good relationship with the dynamic duo. For the second year in a row, Dr. Shivashankar, please. Congratulations, Above and Beyond Award of the Year. I'd seen that. Oh, there she is. And now I would like to introduce our DIO, Dr. Franz Dufault.
Thank you, Dr. View. So it's my pleasure to call an award which is for the Resident of the Year. And this year, the honor goes to Dr. Danny Matthew. Come up so they can see you, Dr. Matthew, and walk right through. Congratulations. The Preceptor of the Year Award goes to Dr. Emmanuel Nketia. Dr. Nketia could not be with us, and Elisa will keep it for him and make sure that he gets it when he comes back. Thank you. The Best Lecturer of the Year, we have a tie. The residents couldn't decide, should it be the first physician or the second physician? The first awardee is Dr. Sergio Obligado, and the second one is Dr. Matthew May. And the first one to come up is Dr. Obligado. Nephrologists, they tend to come very quickly. They compete with emergency medicine physicians. Congratulations to both of you. The next award is the Best Rotation of the Year award. And this year, this award goes to emergency medicine. I would like to call Dr. Senticool to come and pick up that award. There you go. Congratulations. picture. And I would like to call Dr. Kaur to present the next award.
So Teamwork Award is going to Elena Burton.
Thank you, Dr. Kaur, and congratulations, Elena. The Above and Beyond Recognition Award for Nursing goes to Jacqueline Tremblay. She could not be here. She has to attend a very important wedding, and we will make sure that Ms. Tremblay receives the award. The last award is the Student of the Year Award, and it's an award presented to the medical student who has demonstrated outstanding skill in practice-based learning and improvement, patient care and procedural skill, system-based practice, medical knowledge, interpersonal and communication skill, and professionalism. And this year, the award goes to Ledrika St. Louis. Congratulations to you. So we all are gathered here to honor excellence. Excellence on all our graduates, excellence of the faculty, excellence on the support staff, and this brings to a close our award ceremony, our graduation ceremony. Again, it's very important to know to all our graduates that between somewhere to 15 and 20 years from now, everything you've learned at Garnet is still what you're going to be manifesting wherever you go. So people will look at you and say, oh, based on the way this individual is practicing, they must have graduated from Garnet. And you are excellent ambassadors of Garnet. Wherever you go, you're going to shine, and you're going to essentially be recruiters for Garnet, because people will say, medical student working in places where you are will say, aha, I would like to do my residency at Garnet, or I may want to go and work at Garnet. So we're not going to pay you to do that. It's part of being an alumni of Garnet. You're never going to be cutting your tie with Garnet, because every time you apply for a license somewhere, they're going to be getting in contact with your program director or former program director. So good luck to all. Work proud. You've earned your wings. This is an advertisement I'm making for Top Gun by now. And be proud of what you've achieved, and your family members, relatives, and other significant people in your life should all be very proud of you. Thank you, everyone.